Clint Lamb, what is up, dude? On 3, Bama Online. Great to see you again, brother.
Hey, it's good to see you too, Mick. How you been doing, brother?
Well, look, I got a cold Yingling over here. My friends do too. The only thing that's missing is you out here with us.
Hey, it's a winning combination. I'll be there next time, though. Hey,
yeah, next
there's
time.
Couple of road games coming up, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, but there's going to be some good home games coming up soon after that, so I'll certainly join you for one of those for sure.
Hey, I'd love to see it, man, and it's great to see you. And let me introduce you to Jimmy Hart. He's not the mouth of the South, but he's the mouth of Visit Tuscaloosa. What's
Absolutely.
up, brother?
Not much. Just enjoying another great football weekend here in Tuscaloosa.
Well, we got a lot to talk about, guys, because, obviously, as we take our Tuscaloosa Hyundai stroll around this matchup, it's Alabama and Ole Miss, and I'm going to start with you, Clint. Lane Kiffin has been trolling the GOAT himself. Is this a good idea?
Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea, Lane's going to do it. I mean, I think once he made the get your popcorn ready comment, there's nothing that's off the table as far as the way that he's willing to troll. So, hey, it's made the week more interesting, but the game's finally here. I mean, not officially here, but we're getting close. So it's kind of time to stop, worrying about all the stuff that's happening surrounding the game and start focusing on the X's and O's. And what I will say, it's going to be a heck of a matchup. That's for sure.
Jimmy, do you work with anyone at Visit Tuscaloosa that trolls you at work?
Oh, yes, I absolutely do.
Who is it?
Well, Stan Adams, our executive director of sport. He's got a big personality and a great sense of humor, and he knows all of my weak spots as a sports fan.
At you.
So yeah, especially when his Miami teams get the better of my Kansas City teams.
Yeah, right.
I hear about it.
Well, Clint, let's talk about this matchup again. And Jimmy, you're going to get in this conversation too, but does this Alabama team feel like it's better than it was last week?
I think it has to be. Yeah, I mean, is it good enough to beat Ole Miss soundly? Is it good enough to, go on the road and beat Mississippi State? Is it good enough to go on the road to College Station and beat Texas A&M? All that stuff is TBD. I mean, they should be. They're one of the most talented teams in the country. At any point in time, this thing can get locked in. That doesn't mean that it will. And I'll say this too. I've picked Alabama big enough over the last few years and been burned on it that I'm not going to do that here. I'm not going to go in and say this is a huge statement game for Alabama and they're going to hit Ole Miss in the mouth and they're going to cover the spread and do all those things after the Texas game, because that was set up perfectly. I had said all offseason, A-Day game, not the time to announce that your offensive line is going to be elite and bully people around. Open practices, MTSU, none of those were the situations or scenarios where you wanted to release the beast, I guess is the way to put it. So I was thinking Texas A&M was a great opportunity for them. They did not do it. Not only did they get beat by double digits at home, but they also they got kind of bullied up front, both offensively and defensively in some ways. I wouldn't say as much defensively, but certainly their offensive line got beat up. And so, I mean, I'm going to have to wait and see on this front. I'm picking Alabama to win. I know that's a spoiler early. I'm not going to pick against them, but this idea that they're going to go in and, completely smoke Ole Miss, are they capable? Absolutely. Like I said, if everything clicks, when everything clicks, they're capable of beating anybody in the country, and I will still say that. The problem is that they're not even close to seeing everything clicking, and so until I do see it, I don't know that I can go as far as to pick a big win.
How about you, Jimmy? What do you think?
Well, I think Clint's making me look like an absolute layman because I was all prepared to say Jalen's got something to prove. He's going to come out and play his best game ever. That offensive line's got a couple weeks under the belt, and they're going to gel, and we're going to see that offense click. So
I'm going to have to get your number because sometime probably around tomorrow night I'm going to have to text you and apologize because you were so right. I might have jumped off the train a week too soon.
Is Jalen ready, Clint? Is he ready to lead this team?
I will say he's in a much better position than he was a couple of weeks ago for a couple of reasons. I think from a fan perspective, I'm not saying that everybody is fully on board with the Mill Road train, but seeing that there are worse options out there, I think that is helpful to him. Having a game plan that's built around him and his skill set. I mean, we have not seen that yet. Even last week, he didn't play at all. I thought last week was a better game plan for Jalen Milroe. They were attacking the flats. They were doing some RPO stuff. They were doing some design quarterback runs, some screens early on. Do all those things for Jalen Milroe, and let's see what this guy's got, because he's got all the talent in the world, but he's got to have a play caller that trusts him. And, they have to have a lot more success on early downs. If they can stop being behind the sticks or getting behind the sticks early in drives, then, I think this is an offense that can move the football. But up to this point, the lack of success on first and second down has led to not a lot of success, on third and longs. I mean, it's just not an offense that's built for it. So I think if you can do those things, you can really help Milroe, and he can be a really good quarterback for you.
Jimmy, I've seen Alabama's offensive line give up a ton of sacks. Have you seen that too?
I have.
Clint, why is that?
Guys aren't playing very good. I mean, that's the simple way of putting it. And it's not just Caden Proctor. It's everybody. Okay, it's not everybody. But I will say Seth McLaughlin's gotten blown up at times. Darian Dalcourt's gotten blown up at times. Caden Proctor's really struggling at left tackle. The running backs aren't helping much in pass protection. It doesn't matter who it is. I think from a running perspective, McClellan and Williams, they're both doing phenomenal. I mean, they're creating yardage when yardage isn't there, yards after contact. Both been quality players on that front, and Roydell kind of proved that down the stretch against USF. But from a pass protection standpoint, they're offering next to nothing right now. And so, I mean, it's a bad combination, and it has to get fixed quick. But there are some things that you can do. I mean, they've tried to do some things, some 8-man protection. I mean, it hadn't been from a lack of trying, but if they can get some things corrected, they still have a chance to be a good offensive line.
Hanging out with Clint Lamb and Jimmy Hart. This is the original Bama Tailgate Show, and thank you all that are listening across the state of Alabama or watching on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel on a beautiful day as we get ready for this Alabama and Ole Miss game. And I don't know. I'm not the football expert that Clint is, Jimmy, but I'm worried about this game just because I feel like if Alabama loses, it's such a big loss for the program.
I agree with you there. I think this would be a loss that it'd be difficult to come back from. I think how that affects the conference standings is just very straightforward. I don't think that requires a lot of explanation. But when you think about the goals that this team had when the season started, you really start looking at how those become out of reach if they don't turn it around fast.
Yeah, Clint.
I mean, it's been a disappointing start, to say the least. I mean, you saw some concerns. You saw some concerns on A-Day. And I think Nick Saban saw some concerns. I think they had a vision for what they wanted out of the quarterback position, and I think they held on to that vision a little bit too long. And, after the spring, they went out and they got Tyler Buckner, which was another option who could potentially run it. I mean, we saw what happened with USF last week. You hate it for him. I don't think that's the quarterback that he is. I think he's a much better player. But, I mean, it's just unfortunately – I don't know how many more opportunities he's going to get to prove that, at least in Tuscaloosa. We'll have to wait and see. But they had a vision for what they wanted out of that position, and I think they tried to force Milroe to be that guy. He's not that guy at all, which is why I'm encouraged about what he could potentially be, and we'll see tomorrow. I mean, if you see the same game plan that you saw in weeks 1 and 2 with him, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this Alabama team is going to lose a lot more than just one more game. But, I don't foresee that being a problem, but it is unfortunate because you're talking, it's September 22nd, Mick, and we're already, Alabama's backs are already against the wall. Like, we're talking about their backs already being against the wall. How often has that happened during the Nick Saban era?
Yeah, never. When we come back, guys, we're going to pick the game. Jimmy, tell us about Visit Tuscaloosa. What do you guys got going on here in our fair city?
Well, there's a lot going on. You can find out about all of it at visittuscaloosa.com. But the one thing I want to make sure your listeners and your viewers know about this week is a collaboration that we're part of. We belong to a group called Cities of the SEC, where all of our counterparts at all of the hometowns of the SEC schools are working together. Believe it or not, we got, and Starkville actually gets the credit for being the ones who got everyone to come together at the table. But you can go to citiesofthesec.com and download a mobile map experience where each one of our cities has identified attractions in town that we want visiting fans to check out. So if you're in Tuscaloosa for the game, there's 10 places we want to make sure you get out and see. And in the future, when our fans are traveling to Starkville and Auburn, we've got the destinations for them as well. So that's citiesofthesec.com.
And that sounds awesome. Citiesofthesec.com, and visit Tuscaloosa.com. Jimmy and Clint, you guys stick around. We're going to talk about the game when we come back and make our picks that count. We're going to tell everybody exactly why Alabama's going to win this football game, Clint, right? We're going to tell them right after this.
Hey, it's coming.
Yuengling, America's oldest brewery, has been making beer in America for 6 generations. And for nearly 200 years, we've been all about bringing the good times. By hand, by foot, by bike, by bikers, by fanny pack or jetpack, by whatever means necessary. With Yuengling Traditional Lager, good times taste even better. Yuengling, bring the goods.
Autumn brings vivid colors to the back roads and hollows of Sevierville, Tennessee. Wind your way to quaint country churches, a historic covered bridge, and even a pick-your-own apple orchard. This fall, the best views are yours on Sevierville's Rocky Flats Fall Driving Tour. Learn more and find additional fall drives to enjoy at visitsevierville.com/fall.
Immerse yourself in the continuing dynasty of Alabama football with The Legacy Continues, a visually striking image from artist Daniel A. Moore. This sequel to Moore's 1992 sold-out painting, The Crimson Legacy, features iconic moments and memorabilia from the last 30 seasons of Tide football. Don't miss your opportunity to own this lasting tribute sure to be cherished by Bama fans for years to come. Pre-order The Legacy Continues now at danielmooreart.com.
Hey y'all, it's Jennifer from the Floor Bama, and we're excited that football is back. The Floor Bama is proud to support Alabama football, and we invite you to join us at Floor Bama Ole River Grill for a game day experience like no other. We have over 40 TVs and a brand new game day menu that includes endless wings, Santa Fe egg rolls, street corn nachos, and so much more. Bring your friends and join us for all the college and NFL games. Floor Bama's Ole River Grill, open at 11 a.m. daily, right across the street from the world-famous Floor Bama.
Barry Buckner for Genesis of Tuscaloosa. You heard it said, affordable luxury. But when it comes to affordable service, every new Genesis we sell comes with 3-year, 36,000-mile complimentary service. If you want to pay more, that's your business. If you want to save, that's our business. GenesisofTuscaloosa.com.
Ownership limitations may apply. See your retailer for details. Genesis reserves the right to change program without notice. Exclusions may apply.
Flight by Yuengling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yuengling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yuengling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yuengling & Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Tuscaloosa is Alabama's ultimate sports destination and a place for outdoor enthusiasts to thrive. It's a community rooted in history and one that's on the cusp of a burgeoning art scene too. Tuscaloosa is vibrant, it's charming, and it's familiar. Its people welcome you with open arms and warm hellos into a community that's tied together. Tuscaloosa is our home.
This is My Great Escape,
where there's real gaming excitement.
And I can be who I want to be.
In a sea of slots. Taking in the big pots.
And always doubling down.
Our friends ask, what do y'all do at Pearl River Resort? No work.
All play.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Just keeping it real, baby.
Real players.
Real winning.
Real fun.
At Pearl River Resort.
Back out at Unique on the Strip here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and Ole Miss as you hang out with us on the original Bama Tailgate Show. Great to have all of you guys across the state of Alabama listening on radio today. And for those of you that are hanging out on YouTube, I see all the comments coming in. It's been over 100, I think, people have been on the Bama Tailgate YouTube channel sending us comments and hanging out. It's been a great show. We've had some awesome guests and a lot of fun. Jimmy Hart is still hanging with us from Visit Tuscaloosa. Clint Lamb on here from On3 and BamaOnline. And I'm Mick Gillespie, and you see all the people coming by. All right, let's get into picking this game. Jimmy, I'm going to throw you up first. Give me your thoughts. Break this thing down. Tell me who's going to win the game and why.
I think Bama's going to win the game. I think they're going to win because they have to, and I think they know that. I think there's just too much pride tied up on the Bama side, and I'm just one of those sports romantics who loves to take it to the intangibles. So I'm taking the Tide by 10.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, let me throw Clint back in there. And Clint, I'm betting you a Yingling right now. You tell me why Alabama's going to win, or maybe they're not. You tell me what you think.
I do have him winning, Mick. I think he's completely right. I think that it's because they have to. If you can't get motivated for this game with your back against the wall, if you can't get some of these things right, am I expecting to see everything perfect tomorrow? No. I just need to see them moving in the right direction. There was some factors involved last week that maybe prevented them, the weather, Tyler Booker, your best offensive lineman, being out.
Yeah.
You're trying out new quarterbacks. Obviously, that's really big. The defense played, really well. Would like to see them tackle a little better on the quarterback and not let him escape and create yardage, running the football. But for the most part, they played really well. This week, there are some similarities between like Ole Miss and Texas, where it's like not only the innovative play caller, the Lane Kiffin, the Steve Sarkisian, the heavy Alabama staffs that both have several former Alabama assistants, analysts, experienced offensive lines, even though I think Texas has a better offensive line, and just a lot of weapons in the passing game. And, now granted, there are some differences too. Jackson Dart is a lot more mobile than Quinn Ewers. They're going to utilize him on design runs. They like to, Texas is more of like a pre-snap motion, post-snap, run a lot of screens. Ole Miss is more play action, pass, vertical shots, all those different things. So they're not the same offenses by any means. They just have some similarities. But I think Texas defensively is the main difference. If Pete Golding's got that group heading in the right direction, they got some guys up front who can be problematic for Alabama's offensive line. But I think that if Ole Miss has a lot of success defensively, once again, that will be more of the result of what Alabama's doing offensively and kind of allowing them or shooting themselves in the foot. The penalties got to get cleaned up. You got to stop the explosive plays or prevent the explosive plays from Ole Miss's offense. I think Alabama, with their two perimeter cornerbacks, will be able to do that. You got to avoid the pass interference calls downfield because they're going to take some shots. They love throwing it to those perimeter receivers vertical. So you got to prevent that. But if you can do those things, it's a lot. I just threw a lot at people. But
everything you're saying, Clint, tells me that Ole Miss is going to win, though.
And I will say, when you look at it, there are a lot of things that will make you think that they would. But like I said, I think that Deontay Lawson, the fact that he's playing at such an elite level, the fact that we think Jaheim Otis is going to be back, Ole Miss likes to run inside a lot more than Texas. Texas is run off tackle, run outside. Ole Miss is a lot more balanced, so your interior defensive linemen are a little bit more important in that kind of matchup. And, Quinshad Judkins, he has not been 100% healthy the last, 1.5 games. So how healthy will he be tomorrow? I don't know. But I fully anticipate Alabama to come out with an attitude and do some things as far as playing to Jalen Milroe's strengths. And if they can do that, they can certainly win this football game. I'm just not going to predict that they win big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I took Ole Miss in the points, but I think Alabama's going to win. I think it's going to be kind of a back and forth game. Clint, tell everyone about Bama